Hi there. Hi there, everyone. I am just checking in to make sure the sound is on and working properly. Yeah, let's give it a minute. I'm just doing a little sound test here. Okay, what do we hear? Okay, do we have any volume? All right. Okay. Just give it a couple more minutes now. I'm still doing a check with the volume here. And then we'll get the webinar going. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Hi. Okay. Okay. You know, it's just because I need to replace a battery. They gave me the wrong battery. And I said, okay, can you just come to my clinic and exchange? I never have time to go in, but I have to find where I put the battery because I took it out to replace it and I didn't put it back in my medical. Oh, there it is. No, I found it. It's inside my otoscope too. It's not like, whoa, too bad I lost your battery. I actually would like to have my otoscope. But anyway, okay. I have it here. I'll sit it right in the door so I'll remember to bring it. I'm writing you have a chance to do that. Thanks for the heads up. Okay. Bye. Perfect. All right. So we have our sound check done. Thank you, sound check IT person.
Okay, there, we're just waiting for a few more people to join before we start the webinar. Okay, so we just have a few more minutes before we start the webinar. I'm going to give it a little bit longer and then we'll be back right at noon to start. Okay, we're just going to do one really quick intention before we get started, and that is whatever the intention, the silent intention is of everyone here today. We didn't have a request come in beforehand like the last one, the last webinar, so we're just going to do whatever your silent intention is today for yourself and your income and your money, the relationship you want with it, the way you'd like it to change. You can put that forward now. So just taking a gentle breath or two, letting yourself sink down and ease into being able to take a little time for yourself. Okay. And when you're starting to feel a little bit more relaxed as you're gently breathing in and out, just let your body open up, kind of like it's a cylinder, feeling how expansive and light you feel yourself becoming. Continuing to breathe gently and evenly, feeling so light as you open your heart, and you can feel the warmth and softness around you of the love from everyone else's heart as they open theirs as well. Just floating inside this gentle energy of love. Okay. And now bringing your intention forward. And just letting your body feel what it would be like for that to already be. Letting it sink into your body. You know, what do you feel in when you're breathing? How does it feel in your shoulders and your neck and your stomach, in your chest, the places where your nervous system would normally affect you when you're feeling stressful? Just letting your body learn that emotion of having the money that you need, reaching the goal that you would like. And really enjoying how beautiful it feels in your body. And when you feel ready, feeling the safety and the security of the ground you're standing on or the chair you're sitting on, bringing your awareness back to your environment, knowing that your healing will continue to occur and your body will keep learning this, and that you're better for this. Just keep gently breathing. We have just one more moment and we'll start. Thank you for having this beautiful experience with me. And just take a note to see how you're feeling. And if you'd like, let us know in the chat box at the bottom of the webinar page if you want to make a comment on how that was for you. Fantastic. Okay, what a beautiful way to begin the webinar. Hello, everyone. My name is Jen Sinsarak, and this is the Tapping for Income webinar. We're going to have about an hour, a little longer than that actually, packed with transformation, where you're going to leave feeling like you're totally connected to the universe, like you're floating on a cloud, and feeling like, you know, in your bones, knowing that you have the ability and the right to have more money flowing into your life. So in order to float up to that cloud, you may want to turn off any distractions that might impede or pull you down. So, if you need to flick your cell on silent, or if there's a social media tab that you need to close, just anything that you feel will distract you, that'll keep you from the work that you're going to do for yourself today. So let's get ready to really move forward into our full income potential here. Thank you so much for bringing your energy and your presence here today, not just for the people who are listening to it today, but for the people who will have the replay and who will hear it after that, because our energy together will keep having an effect and will keep bringing more healing for ourselves and for everyone else who brings their intention to this. And so I really appreciate you giving this bit of your time, because if you've signed up for this, then I know that you're someone who's meant to do a lot of good on this planet. And I know that your life is meant to contribute, and it's going to affect my life and the lives of so many others. So thank you. I also want to say that I have a little gift for you at the end that's just a really beautiful way to take what we do today, and you can use it anytime you want to help you feel light as a feather and absolutely royal with abundance. And this will be yours to use, like I said, just when you feel you need that extra kick and when you really want to go back up and float on that cloud. So stick around for that, and I'll send you the information to get that as well. Okay, so let's get into a little bit more of what this webinar is all about. This webinar is for you if you're sick and tired of feeling like there's not enough money. You can't seem to keep up. You feel like you're falling behind more and more. It just ekes behind you and a little bit more stressful each time. Or maybe that's not exactly your situation, but it's more like you are making ends meet, but it still feels like you're surviving and you don't feel really supported. Or maybe your needs are met, but what you need to do is burst into the next level of earning and into the next level of abundance so that you can change your life more and the lives of others the way that your heart is calling you to. This webinar is for you if you've likely read, as many of us have, endless financial books and or taken tons of classes on what you're supposed to do with money and how to attract more money. And you feel like, oh, I'm saying all the right affirmations. I feel like I'm doing everything right, but nothing is sticking. And then this gets so frustrating. And I just want to say that I can totally 100% relate. I am a naturopathic doctor as well, and I started practicing as a naturopathic doctor here in Canada at the end of 2005. And because I didn't have a business background, I went to every, how to run your practice / how to run your business class that we had while we were in medical school, as well as programs that were offered after. I even started working with a coach, thinking that if I just follow someone else's method or their path, then I'll find my path to busier days of practice and the cure for my mountain of student loans that were sort of morphing into business loans. So 7 years into practice, a huge change of city and pretty much everything else that goes along with that. 1 3-year-old and twin 8-month-olds later, I found out that the company that I'd been working for part-time was being bought out, and they weren't sure they were going to be able to find work for me as I was coming back from maternity leave. So I had no more maternity leave pay. My private practice was dead because I'd been away for 8 months with the twins, and I didn't have a job to go back to. So I couldn't believe that there I was, 36 years old, with 9 years of all this intense medical education, and I wasn't earning a dime. I felt like I'd have been financially better off if I'd started working at some franchise fast food joint, all those years before, rather than going to university. So needless to say, my self-esteem was crushed. Like, I felt like such an overeducated loser. And so maybe you can relate. Maybe you've had some moments like this where you felt like there's no way my life is supposed to be this way right now. Where did the wrong turn in the road happen? So thank goodness, somewhere along that path, I had rediscovered tapping, and I had been using my teeny tiny bits of quiet time, which was basically when I was nursing a baby, to read more about it. And then at nighttime, when I couldn't fall back to sleep after the 4 a.m. feed or the 2 a.m. or, all night long, I'd listen to a podcast about tapping. So at first it was just learning about the method and other people's successes. I wasn't really feeling too interested in tapping for abundance or money, since at the time it seemed kind of weird and maybe a little bit shallow or desperate. But then as I understood more about how it works, and I started tuning into why people have issues with money, this did not seem shallow or desperate at all to me. In fact, it was kind of like calling me to do more personal work, but also the issues that you have around money, the way that you do money is the same way that you do anything that you have issues with. And these are the things that I was the most passionate about working with when it came to my patients, because I'm such a fan of mind and body medicine. So like you, I also had that niggling little feeling that I was supposed to be helping more people in a different way, not just in private practice, because I wasn't filled up by the idea of marketing and networking to fill my practice, where I could only help one person at a time. So in the midst of mothering and maintaining this little part-time practice that I was trying to bring back to life, I tapped and I read and I tapped and I listened to thousands of hours of lectures, YouTube videos, podcasts, summits, you name it. I tuned in and did more personal transformation work. And pretty soon, some fundamental shifts started to happen. I can totally tell you, I would never have believed 3 years ago that I'd be doing what I'm doing today. I never would have believed that I'd be okay with helping people heal outside of the very strict naturopathic title and having very formal one-on-one visits. It would have weirded me out that I'd be able to do what I'm most passionate about, not just by hoping that a patient would come through my door wanting help, fulfilling their passion and moving forward in those areas of their life, not just about fixing their broken digestion, even though these two are very much linked, but that's a whole other webinar. And I definitely never would have seen myself stepping out online for anyone with a computer to see me, to scrutinize me, to judge me. But I'm not afraid of moving forward with my passion and my income goals anymore. And this is really what I want for you too. I want you to feel fantastic and worthy and deeply peaceful as you move toward more income. So not to say that there aren't bumps along the way. I feel like, in fact, the last couple of weeks I've hit one. Every time you move to a new level, you hit a new level of resistance and, demons or issues that come up. And that's okay. It's another chance for you to break through those and step forward. So, I've just been doing that with myself today. So I'm actually quite excited to be doing this with you guys today. So today we're going to unearth one of the foundational beliefs that keeps us from earning the income that we need to enjoy our life and to make our difference in the world. We're going to start with an exercise to help call out that sneakily pervading belief, the one that's been coloring the way that we see the world since we were really little. And we're going to use some exercises to help break up that foundational belief. Then we're going to start building a new foundation, a new way to see the world and our ability to earn money within it. Then lastly, I'm going to leave you with a surprise gift, like I was saying earlier, so you can sort of keep up the work even after the webinar is over. You can just keep working at healing yourself. So I'm going to teach you everything I can in this time that we have together. And it's going to be really packed with experiential exercises to get you moving where you want to go. And then before I conclude, I'll let you know a way that you can take it further if that's what feels right for you. Okay, so let's dive right in with our first exercise. Now, this is the time to pull out a piece of paper and a brightly colored pen or marker if you have it. In my house, there's always crayons and whatnot around since I have the little ones, but just some sort of piece of paper, and if you do have something bright to write with, great. And then I need you to write down, once you've got that, I need you to write down your monthly income. And I want you to write it down in big, large print, like big block numerals. So just take a moment to do that, or if you need one more second to find a piece of paper. Or maybe if you have your phone with you, you can just pull up one of your writing apps and write it down. And then have a look at this number now that you've written it down. And ask yourself the question on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being 100%, how secure and safe and free does this number make me feel? So give yourself a ranking on 0 to 10. You know, often the very first number that comes up is the right number. And then ask yourself the question, is this enough? And then you want to rank that if you can, again, from 0 to 10. Rank the extent to which you feel it is enough. 10 being absolutely 100%, yes, this meets my needs, and 0 being not at all. So how safe it makes you feel, and does it feel like it's enough? And then also, as you're writing this down and you're looking at the number, you might want to jot down what emotions are coming up as you look at this number and you acknowledge that it's just not cutting it for you. You know, is there a little anger, sadness? Make a quick note on your page as well. And sometimes they can be really strong, you know, fear and panic and anxiety. So just checking in with yourself and your body. What comes up for you? And then also to note, are there any sensations you've noticed in your body? Just take a breath and let yourself experience them for a second or two so you can get a really good read on what's happening in your body. And then take a second to write them down as well. You know, like, do you feel the lump in your throat or the knot in your stomach or your shoulders are tense? Right? Because your subconscious happens in all of your body, not just in your mind. And if you'd like to share, let me know in the chat box what's come up for you. I know there's a slight lag when we're doing a Google Hangout on air, so it'll be a moment before I get to it. But if you want to know, if you want me to know, please share, and I'll share it with the rest of us. Okay, so now that we're very triggered by this number, let's do a little bit of tapping. And I want to note that if while you're doing the tapping, I'm going to keep this rated G, but if it feels most appropriate to you to use more colorful language to really express the intensity of your feelings, and if you're in an appropriate place to let these words out, go ahead and use them as emphatically as you see fit. Or if you need to just pick different vocabulary than me that suits you the most, that's absolutely fine, because you want to use what is the most specific for you to really help bring up and clear out these emotions. Okay. All right, so I'm going to switch over so that you guys can see me. So bear with me for just a second here. All right. Hi, everyone, so that we can tap together. And you're not just tapping looking at the screen. Okay. So I don't have any comments coming in yet, so let's start our tapping together. And I'm really going to enjoy this for myself today. Okay, so even though I feel so triggered right now with panic, fear, and worry, this is not enough. How can I survive on this? I honor and accept these very strong feelings that are running through me right now. Even though I'm totally freaked out by the fact that I don't have enough. There's never enough, and it feels like I'm barely surviving. I choose to deeply and completely accept that this is just where I am right now. Okay, one more. Even though I feel panicked over how in the world am I going to keep things afloat? How can I make it at this rate? I choose to surprise myself by how easy it is for me to honor and forgive and give love to myself. Just the way I am, even in the midst of this money crisis. Okay. Oh my God. How am I going to do this? This is just not enough. It's not enough. I can feel the freaked out panic running through me. My heart is racing. My mouth is starting to feel dry. Yep, my nervous system is gearing up for fight or flight. All of this intense fear running through me. Fear of how I'm going to make it. Fear of survival. I'm so freaked out because the bills will keep coming. And I don't know how I'm going to make it. And certainly never get ahead. Because I'm so busy just getting by. There's no sense of safety. I feel completely not supported. Totally unsecure. Like I'm standing on a very, very small island. And I can see it's eroding. It feels like I won't have anything left to stand on. And I'm panicking about my survival. And I honor all of this and these feelings. I honor these physical sensations of fear and panic. I acknowledge all this anxiety running in my mind and in my nervous system. I acknowledge how hard this anxiety is working. It's on overdrive. And it totally never gets a rest. So I never get a rest. And I'm taking a break from anxiety now, right now. And I'm giving it permission to take a breather. And I'm giving my body permission to take a break from running the panic emotion. I'm thanking it for working so hard by giving it some well-earned time off. I'm letting my body let down. And I release and let go of a little bit of this panic. A little bit of this anxiety. Like opening a window in a hot and stuffy car. I release and let go of this fear right out that window. And as I release a little of this panic and fear, more of it starts moving out and wants to be free. As some fresh air of peace flows in. And it feels really good to let the stress be free. In fact, I think I'll open another window and let more out. And let more peace in. The fear feels great being free. I feel great being free. I clear out this entire car. I let this air of fear flow right out. As fresh air flows in. I clear this fear from all the cells in my body. Releasing it out the window. I let it go. Releasing all fear and worry and anxiety. Releasing all other emotional trauma tied to this income number. Letting it go. Giving it all permission to go. And enjoying the freedom I feel. And enjoying how free the fear and panic now feel as they float freely away. It feels great as I watch them float away. I feel fantastic watching them float away. They feel free, and I feel free. Okay, let's do another deep breath. Oh, good. Fantastic work. So let's just let that settle in. And then when you feel ready, you might want to take another look at the number that you've written down on your piece of paper and check in. How do you feel in your body? What are the sensations now and how intense are they now? Have they shifted at all? Have they changed up a little bit? And then ask yourself on the scale of 0 to 10, as you're looking at that number, how safe and secure and free do I feel? What is that number now? Has that shifted at all? Has it changed? And sometimes when you do tapping, it increases a little bit, and that's totally fine too, because that just means you're bringing a little bit more up and you are shifting stuff inside of you. So that's good. That means All right, more's coming up, and there's more for you to work with and let go of. So then you can redo that round we did before, or tap the words that you want to tap for yourself. So that's also a really good sign. And if you want, let us know in the chat box below. If you have signed up for that, let us know, and what shifts you're seeing, so we can sort of share with each other. Okay, and so I'm just going to check. I don't see any more of that going on. I don't see any new comments in the chat box right now. So I'm just going to let that load up again, and let's do another round of tapping to keep going. Let's keep the momentum up and clear some more. Okay. I'm just going to check here and make sure that I'm not missing any of you. Whoops. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's do some more. Let's get into some more tapping. All right, so we're going to literally mix things up here a little bit. So I know I was tapping with 2 hands last time, and that was just as I was reading my script and moving things around, but we're actually going to do that intentionally this time. So we're going to work on competing beliefs that we harbor about our income. So like, we might rationally understand that we're not about to starve to death because of our income. There's also a less rational part of us that really is worried about our survival, and we're going to play a little bit with that. So we're going to go, we're going to do that back and forth a bit, and then I think we're going to do some back and forth with our hands, so like tap into different sides of our brain, and we can use one hand as a subconscious and one is not. So we're going to just start right now with the one hand and karate chop. Whether or not I feel a bit calmer, it's still not enough money. And I accept myself. It's still not enough money. It's not enough for me to feel the freedom and security I need. And I accept myself. This number is smaller than the number I need, and that's a fact. I accept myself. Okay, so now we're going to switch to the other points, but we're going to do back and forth with each hand. So we're going to talk one hand saying, no, I'm fine, I can make it. One hand saying, oh, no, this isn't going to work out, and I'm really freaked out. So whichever hand is your dominant hand, maybe you want that to be the rational side of you, and then whichever hand is your non-dominant hand, that could be your subconscious part, or the part of you that's irrational and freaking out a little bit. Okay, so I'm basically a pauper. I just don't earn enough money. May as well live in a hovel, because I just don't make enough. I'm a poor person. And poor people can't make ends meet. And so I must be poor. Broke and poor. No, that's not the truth. I'm actually rolling in it. Because I'm wealthier than 95% of the world. I live better than the richest king would have. From just a few hundred years ago. I'm actually totally loaded. Me and all my modern comforts, like running water and basic hygiene and electricity. We are actually insanely rich. No, I'm not. I don't make enough, so I'm poor. No, that's wrong. The truth is, I'm actually very rich. No, I'm not. I'm a total pauper. And I'm absolutely loaded. I've got abundance. I've got abundance up to the gills. Nope, I'm really broke. Well, that's wrong because I'm super rich. Okay. Deep breath. Now, you might be feeling a little bit confused after that, which is actually perfect because the intention here is to really confuse and short circuit that belief that there's not enough. So now check in once again with your number. So look down at your piece of paper where you wrote your monthly income, have a look at it, and then note how strong is that feeling of that's not enough, that's not enough. How strong do you feel it now on the 0 to 10 scale compared to the last round and before that? And then check in with that lack of security and freedom. Has it changed? What about your emotions and the sensations in your body? Have they shifted at all? Then just take a moment and jot that down for yourself. And if you feel like sharing with us, go ahead and share in that chat box. I'm just going to check again. While you're writing your numbers down. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do one more quick exercise before we get to our positive tapping. So I want you to imagine that you're showing up at the door of your lover, your paramour, someone that you absolutely can't wait to be with. And you knock at the door and you're feeling just super excited to see them again. And then they open the door and they look at you and they don't even have to say anything because you see the disappointment in their eyes, even before they start telling you how you're not enough. You don't support them well enough. You don't fulfill their needs. You basically don't cut it. Now, how much does this make you feel like coming in and having a fantastic and joyful and wonderful time with them? Do you want to be with them? This is what we're projecting to the universe when we constantly see our income as too little. Why would our income increase and show up in a bigger way if we can't be present and grateful for what's showing up already? We're focusing on the 0.00001% of matter rather than the 99.9999% of possibility. So we're going to shake this up a little bit with our next exercise, but I just want to explain those numbers a little bit because in every atom that we have, like a hydrogen or an oxygen atom, we have these little electrons and protons and neutrons, and the amount of space that they take up is that 0.00001%. So the rest of it, we know, is just a matter of possibility. That might be where the atom shows up at one point, but we can't, it's not there. It's just the possibility of it being there. So there's just a very small amount of what actually is. And whenever we are feeling stressed, our nervous system pushes us to having to look at hard matter, right? To having us only pay attention to that tiny little bit. Because when you're feeling stressed, we are wired from, eons ago to run away from the tiger or the bear or the tribe, or we actually are going to starve and we have to survive. So we have to focus on who's around us, who's chasing us, what's going on, what do we feel, hear, see, smell, taste. And we can't be thinking of, oh, I wonder what's possible for me. I'm going to see the next field of wild berries to pick, or I'm going to see some animal that I can eat for prey that's easily nearby. We're not there. We're thinking, oh my God, I have to survive. I have to run away. And so this is what happens when we're thinking about our money too. So we're going to work at shaking this up with our next tapping round here. Okay, so that we're not that person showing up to the house of money saying, well, you're never good enough and what's wrong with you, when money comes to our door, rather. So we're going to start right on the points without doing karate chop, and this time you can just use the one hand. No wonder money doesn't want to show up for me. Every time I think about money, I think about how it's just not enough, how it doesn't live up to my needs. But I see now the cycle that's been playing out. I feel panicked over how little money I have. I think and worry and embody this scarcity. And the universe reads me loud and clear and sends me more scarcity. But I'm onto it now. And I totally acknowledge what's been happening. If I had a lover who wanted me to be more connected and intimate, I'd want them to be loving and open to me. If they constantly told me I wasn't good enough for them, I'd want to break it off with them. So I'm open to changing my relationship with my income. After all, it's the main flow of money into my life. I don't want there to be any blocks or biases against this stream of money. So I'm open to letting go of this "it's not enough" belief. I'm releasing any need to feel scarcity of money. Any need to feel like I don't have enough. I clear this belief from my cells. Because the truth is, I live richer than most of the world's population. And since I can accept this, maybe I accept allowing even more money. Then I can help the rest of the world more. I'm open to giving more. Because I have more to give. I'm ready to be totally thrilled at the way money keeps showing up in surprising ways. In ways that I couldn't possibly have imagined. And not just when I need it, but in abundance. And all the time. So I'm really curious now. In fact, I'm downright excited to see how money shows up for me next. Because when I release these blocks about my income, I have space to be open to all the millions of unpredictable ways money can flow to me. So I'm open and excited and anticipating. Okay, let's take a deep breath. That feels really good, and I feel like laughing. It feels so lighthearted for me. So yes, bring it on, and let me know if you have a reaction to this as well. Let me know in the chat room. Because when we let our fears and our doubts and our worries over income fall away, feeling open and anticipating and excited about it becomes so much easier. And this is a much, much more positive message to be broadcasting about the main flow of money into our lives. Okay, I'm going to bring us back to our slideshow here. Okay. All right. So congrats on taking such a big step, towards rocking these old beliefs about money. Because you changing these patterns in yourself helps all of us on the planet shift this pattern. When you change your energy, you change the world, which is like so amazing and courageous and brave and awesome. So we have one more fantastic experiential exercise coming up, and it really is my favorite. But I wanted to say first that even though I don't know why you personally showed up today, maybe it's because you're tired of constantly feeling like there's not enough. Maybe because for once you just want to feel secure and supported by your income, or maybe it's because you really want to take a big leap to that next earning level so you can start making a bigger impact and more changes in your lives, for your loved ones' lives, and in all the strangers' lives that you know that you're meant to touch. Whatever the reason, you're here because you're ready for a smoother and a greater flow of income in your life. So I'm inviting you to solidify and multiply the transformation we're working on today by taking it further and joining me for a 21-day Tapping for Income challenge. Because if you loved shifting the belief that we unearthed today, during the 21 days, we dig up all the brother and the sister and even the distant cousin beliefs about why you haven't been able to increase your income. Then we virtually eradicate these from our lives together. It's kind of like a boot camp for shaping up our income beliefs. So each day we address a new lie or a new story that we tell ourselves about money, like, I'd have to work way too hard and never see my family or friends again to earn a seriously amazing income. Or if I had a fantastic income, I'd probably blow it all and lose it anyway, for those people who feel uncomfortable about their money management. Or sometimes the story is, well, I'm just not educated enough or talented enough. I'm not smart enough to be earning the income that I want to earn. Or if I had a lot of money, I wouldn't be very spiritual anymore. There's a classic one. So if any of these sound like the multiple voices in your head, and I certainly have worked through them all, and then as I get to the next level of what I'm doing, then little new facets of them pop up, and I have the chance to work through them again, as I was saying earlier. So if any of these sound like the voices in your head, please share in our chat so we can learn and grow from each other. And then I also want to share with you that, I grew up in a really blue-collar town, and the underlying belief and I'm living here again now, I've moved back, and the underlying belief, it feels a bit like, you have to work really hard and really honestly for your money. And people who earn a lot, they're kind of those people, and maybe they're not as virtuous as the hardworking people because they can't take it with them when they go. Maybe they're making money too powerful in their life, and they're not, searching to become a better person, to become more enlightened. It's all about earning more. So These are the kind of phrases that I heard growing up and the general attitudes I experienced around money that had become blocks for me. So think about this for a minute for yourself and your life. What blocks do you experience, or would you like to obliterate? Okay, so these pesky beliefs, at one point, they helped us fit in with our tribe and they helped us to survive. The problem is if we carry them for too long, then they've ended up impeding us from making the difference we're supposed to make in the world, from moving forward. This is why I'm hosting this challenge, to help you earn more so they can really be themselves, and by being themselves, bring their change to the world without getting stuck. So without being held back by the broken record player in your head telling you why you couldn't or why you shouldn't earn more, how it'll never happen, not without serious sacrifices, and on it goes. Now, since I know how challenging it is to make time for yourself, every day of the challenge is sent to you via MP3 for you to listen to whenever it's most convenient for you in your life. In the car, during your workout, maybe you crank your iPhone volume and you do tapping in the shower if that's the only way or time that you have alone. I'm totally guilty of that one. Or maybe you're like me and you do them at bedtime as part of your routine when the kids are asleep, or you listen to it as you fall asleep. So I have to say I have actually a daily meditation that goes with each day of the challenge that you can listen to as you go to sleep if that's the thing that you want to do. And this sort of helps to clear any residues left over. So we do one day of tapping, clear it out tapping, and if you need to repeat it for yourself as you're working through and letting these things out of your body, fantastic. And then the next day is a meditation that sort of gets to your subconscious through a bit of a different way. So I'm just trying to give you as many tools as I can to help crush that. Just like as a naturopathic doctor, why would I just use herbs when I can also use homeopathy and water therapy and vitamins and lifestyle factors and tapping and so on and so forth. So I want to acknowledge that I know the feeling of not having a lot of spare cash, as we talked about earlier in the webinar, to spend. And I always feel very strongly that I need to get a lot of bang for my buck if I'm going to buy a class or something, because I've taken, clearly a ton of schooling and classes in my life. So I'm offering this for $39, which over 21 days comes to what you paid for a cup of coffee every day, or maybe what you pay for a hard-covered book. In the place where I live in Canada, people don't buy fancy pants Starbucks coffee or designer coffee because it's such a blue-collar town. Everyone here drinks from this chain of coffee places called Tim Hortons, which are super duper popular in Canada. And even for a super large one, it's only $1 something a day. So this is about what it would cost you to do that for the 21 days. There's no expiry on it. This is yours forever. So like I was saying before, if you find you work through it, it's good, you're moving forward, and then you start moving forward with what you want to do, and then something new comes up 3 months, 8 months, 2 months later, absolutely, it's yours to use again as you feel, as you need it. I feel really strongly about helping you overcome these attitudes and these beliefs that you didn't get to choose. Kind of, irks me a bit to even say that, because we're just doing what we need to do to survive, right? So we all have to take on whatever belief our tribe teaches us, our family, our community teaches us as this mechanism of survival. So I want to help you transform that surviving into a thriving by helping you completely change those beliefs to ones that are more appropriate for your life right now, for beliefs that you want and that you make up your mind to choose. So you don't have to always be just making ends meet or in a state of frustration because you can't reach the next level. You can start moving forward and contributing now. And as a side effect, how great would it feel for your kids or your relatives to be inspired by the serious money you allow yourself to make and the serious difference you end up making with it? Then they can move forward and make their difference in the world as well. Okay, so if you know this work is right for you, I'd love for you to join us in the challenge so we can trim the self-limiting excess and buff up on our income earning muscles. And we can do this together as a group. There's also a private Facebook group for us so we can kind of support each other together. For the people who have done this before, they're in there as well. If you have any questions, you have access to me on a daily basis. I'm happy to, share with you or go through what my experiences were as well. So if you feel like in your heart, yeah, this is good for me, then I'd love you to join me. But for now, let's get into my favorite and the last exercise of the webinar here. Because there's this underlying truth or principle that we experience growing up in this culture we have, where we learn this attitude that there just never seems to be enough. For instance, think about walking through a typical day in your life. Your alarm clock goes off, or if you're a parent like me, you have a little kid crawl up on you, and immediately you start thinking, oh, I wish I could just stay in bed. I didn't get enough sleep. But there's just not enough sleep to be had, and there's not enough time. And this is our first thought of the day. Then maybe you get into the morning routine, and the feeling of not having enough time, it keeps going. As you're deciding what to wear, you open your closet and think about how, there's not enough clothes that fit, or not enough clothes that you like, or not enough clothes that are clean. Think of how often you feel or you think about not having enough of something, anything. Then we turn on the television or the radio, or we head out into the world, and media and advertising begins. And these guys are brilliant at creating the need to acquire more within us. We are structured as a consuming society, so there's just a constant underlying feeling of needing more, of never having enough. Not enough time, not enough weekends, not enough vacations, not enough love, not enough intimacy, not enough coffee, not enough healthy food, not enough groceries, not enough exercise. You name it, there's not enough of it. And then this pervasive underlying belief that we have, that we carry of it's not enough and there is not enough, it starts to morph into, or it has morphed into, I am not enough, not thin enough, not in shape enough. I don't have enough hair. I don't have enough hair removal. I'm not muscular enough. I'm not smart enough, attractive enough, dressed well enough, accomplished enough, experienced enough, young enough, old enough, just not enough. We've become a culture of deficit. We see scarcity anywhere and everywhere. And what makes this deficit mentality so tricky is that the very commercial society that we live in, it sort of creates a blindness within us that keeps us from ever really seeing it and then examining that mentality. It hides out in our collective subconscious, and it keeps us from ever having the feelings and the healing and the long-awaited and the long-deserved experience of fulfillment, prosperity, of satisfaction, of completion, and that beautiful feeling of enough. In our culture, we're missing a respect for, a reverence for experiencing the moment. We talk about it, but it's not something that's taught. The idea is, it's a lovely idea, but we don't have a commonly accepted ritual that allows us to experience the wholeness and the personal power that comes from feeling enough, from having enough, from us being ourselves right in the moment, and that being okay and whole and perfect. So let's move into one last exercise about this to release this constant feeling of scarcity. The belief that it's not just about money, but about not having and not being enough in general. So before we do this, I have one last exercise for you, and that is, outside of money, what do you find yourself saying you don't have enough of? Is it time? Time alone? Time with family? Time with friends? Is it sleep? Is it an area of your health? Is there something about your body that you feel is not sufficient? Is there something about your intellect or personality that you feel isn't good enough? What are the top 3, maybe even 5 really big not enoughs that come up and make you experience scarcity within yourself? And as you jot them down, you might want to rank how intense they are for you on the 0 to 10 scale again. And just note how you feel in your body when you state these beliefs out loud. You know, I'm not smart enough, I'm not thin enough, I don't have enough time. For instance, for me, I don't have enough time is a big one. Whatever the biggies are for you, where do you feel that in your body when you say or think that phrase to yourself? So I'm just going to give you a second to get this down. And if you feel like sharing, go ahead in the chat box. I'm just going to cue up a little background music for us here. Okay. And like I was saying, one of the big ones that comes up for me is time and sleep, having 3 young children. Like I feel like I'm always dealing with that juggle. Okay, so let's let the release of these beliefs, of these limiting I'm not enough beliefs, be our final intention for this time together. Letting go of this constant yearning for what we feel we need to be or need to have. If we really let go of this, it can free up massive amounts of energy to make a difference with what we already have and who we already are. It frees up energy to pay attention and to nourish what we already have and who we already are. And then, as we're paying attention to what we already have, as we are loving and nourishing and making a difference with what we already have and with the person, the beautiful soul we already are, what we have grows and who we are grows. We tend to find ourselves in that sweet spot of inspiration, not to mention in the flow with the law of attraction. When we're feeling enough, full and grateful for what we have and who we are, our bucket starts to overflow and we spill ourselves, our goodwill, our love, our attention, our care to others. Our message and our mission start to grow with ease and with joy. In order to come to that world, that life of abundance, we can't keep walking through the entrance of scarcity. We need to walk through the doorway of enough, of plenty, of ample, of complete, of whole. So let's take a walk together through that entrance by doing a meditation to fill ourselves up with being enough, so that we can easily and joyfully bring forth our gifts to the world and touch all the lives we are meant to touch. I want to say that this meditation and this last half of the webinar are very inspired by the work of Lynn Twist, who is she's been a fundraiser and kind of like a humanist, and she has written a lovely book called The Soul of Money that you may want to check out. And you'll see that I am really inspired by her work. So let's start the meditation. I'm just going to cue up some more music, and if it's appropriate, let your eyes gently close and let yourself become comfortable. When you feel ready, take a couple of deep breaths, letting go of your day's stresses and any chaos or frenzy you may have had. And feel your inhale bringing peace into your body, and your exhale releasing tension or stress. Letting the peace of the inhale roll out into your body like a fog rolling out over a field. Gentle, quiet. And when you feel ready, softly letting your energy descend into the ground beneath you. Deeper and deeper, gently, until you feel yourself hit that warm and nourishing energy of the earth. You know, where Mother Earth sort of sends her love to you. And then gently you bring that back up until you're back into your body, carrying that warm, loving energy, where you kind of feel like you're floating in the safety of in utero again. You're just gently floating in this warm, motherly feeling. And then when you feel ready, expanding yourself outwards now. See if you can expand yourself out as large as the room. And then gently keeping going as large as the house or the building you're in. And then expanding as large as the city block. And as large as the town or city you're in. And expanding more till you're as large as a country. And expanding out as large as the earth and the galaxy. And expanding to be as large as the universe. Just letting yourself keep expanding until you start to feel that oneness and connection with everything. And bringing forth all the fullness in your life. Feeling how beautiful it is that you have the resources, the time and the education to be part of an online webinar, to have the opportunity to do personal transformation work for yourself. How amazing it is that there's such technology that allows us to connect from anywhere on this planet. That you have an entire world available to you at your fingertips. In the size of a small phone. You can learn anything you want at any moment. Be in contact through a myriad of ways anytime you like. And thinking about the convenience and the amount and the variety of food you have all year long. Water from a tap to drink, to wash, in any temperature you please. Feeling the abundance and the luxuries, big or small, that are meaningful to you. And it's okay to be grateful for your stuff. You know how wonderful it is to enjoy that first sip of coffee or tea in the morning. Feeling how amazing it is to rest your head on your favorite pillow, or to sit for a minute in your favorite chair, or to climb into the car that you just love. Or maybe you're just enjoying your favorite tree across the street or in your yard, or a flower you planted in your garden, or maybe artwork that you've hung. Feeling the richness of enjoying these comforts right down into your body. Noticing how wonderful it is to be connected and part of the universe. For all the atoms of your body, the carbon, the oxygen, the iron, that were born in the heart of a star to drift across time and space to form a sun, an earth, and life, the body being supported by the surface beneath you. Thinking of all the amazing experiences you've had in your life, even the tragic and trying ones. They've helped you to see things you may not have otherwise seen, and they've all added layers of depth and dimension to who you are. Appreciating yourself and all the experiences you've had. For all the love you've ever given. For all the good things you've done. For all the effort you've put in. For the loads you've carried even when you didn't think you had any strength left. Appreciating the well in you that's been able to keep giving, especially when you thought it was empty. All the beautiful, wonderful relationships you've been in or had or have now. All the people who love you and who have stood by you. For all the fun you've shared. For all the times they've been there for you and given you the gift of being there for them. Just allowing yourself a moment to silently voice the names of these people now. Just saying them as though we're sitting together and you're telling me or someone else who they are. Feeling in your body the gratitude you have for all the love and the lessons you've given them, and for all the love and lessons they've given you. Feeling thankful for this moment, for all the moments in the past, and for all the moments to come. Appreciating the billions of years of evolution that led up to this second in this place, in this world, where you have the opportunity to live healthier and longer and freer than many can only dream. And to end with a quote from a psychologist, Rick Hanson. I feel thankful for all that was in order for me to be. For grace, for wisdom, for the sacred, for spirit as I know it, for this moment, this breath, this sight, for every good thing that was, that is, that ever will be. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and feeling your body where it's resting, knowing you are better for this. And just noting now, how are you feeling in your body? Because when we can be in gratefulness like this, our cup starts to overflow and we are inspired to live our purpose and to give our gift. And this is my gift to you. I have a free downloadable audio version of this meditation that I will send to you along with the replay of this webinar when it's ready. So if you can feel in your body that this work is a yes for you, that you love what's happened today and what's shifting in your energy and in your life and in your body, then I'd love to have you join us for the 21-day challenge. Oh, thank you so much to everyone for working to bring yourself and your gift to more people through your participation today. I absolutely look forward to seeing you in the challenge if you know that it's right for you. And I wish all of you so much success with your bank account and with your heartfelt mission. Thank you so much. Namaste. Lots of love to you. And thank you for the beautiful energy that you brought today. I loved doing this webinar today.